That was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
My name is Zintle. I live in Cape Town. I am a gardener and aspiring farmer. I'm a voiceover artist and a hectic feminist.
I am Rob, and Rob Small, and I am a founder of Abalimi Bezekaya, which is one of the oldest, probably the oldest NGO working in urban farming here in Cape Town since 1982.
My name is Tosa Masugiti. I live in Khayelitsha. I'm a young woman in farming in East Section. I'm working with young children and the youth, teaching them how to eat and live organic from the foundation level.
My name is Kola Keswa, and I'm basically a permaculturalist. I'm also an entrepreneur, an environmental entrepreneur. You know, I make my small planter boxes and try sell them and promote that eco-friendly type of thing.
Thank you guys so much. I've been wanting to have this conversation for a while. We know, before COVID, because I live in Cape Town, the gardening thing was trending. So then COVID started, and it stopped being a trendy thing because there was no money to buy food, and people started realizing, okay, I need a garden. So do you think that had it not been for COVID, the gardening thing would have remained, just for gardeners or really, really desperate people, or it would have grown as quick as it had now? Do you think COVID put a spotlight on how much, we need food, how much we struggle to get food?
There has been a big influx since COVID, especially of young people, which is wonderful. But that influx was starting before COVID. But now since COVID, it's doubled and tripled. There are so many people coming. So yes, definitely COVID has had an impact.
When COVID-19 came, I didn't have a land. I was a backyard farmer, and I was teaching young children. 2020 came. I received a piece of land during COVID-19 in level 5 because I was going out there. You see, the fear came, I don't realize, the fear came to everyone. Every people lose their job. And what I was preaching to people over my network is that use what you have. Use what you have. You lost the job, you have the money. Take what you have and start something.
I think with COVID, it put a spotlight because a lot of people obviously, didn't have food with the whole disruption of the food system, stuff getting to the supermarket and, the long lines, and that kind of put a big focus on it. But I think it's kind of mellowed down, maybe not, because, you still have that group, which is like the Cape Town Together Urban Food Gardening Group. And I think that's strong. But it's not, I think when the cans were stronger, like right in the beginning of COVID, and, it was more, it was more impactful, and people really went out there,
We have to wake up and use your mind. What can I do to make a living for myself? Then I started to think, here's this young girl told me that I must take what I have and plant a little space that we have. We must plant something so that we can put something in your table for your family.
If we start these gardens, right? It's COVID, people are hungry. You start your garden, you're eating. I found that I had a before COVID, when the garden was still not so good, I had a hard time trying to convince people to join the gardening, like my neighbors, and to join, or even start your own garden. But as soon as COVID hit and I was sharing the food and people then starting their own gardens, and then that happened. Do you find that it's difficult to get people to start the garden or to see how it can be useful in your life? You can eat there, you can start a business as opposed to spending your money elsewhere. Do you find that it's difficult to get people into gardening unless they're really, really desperate?
It was amazing because like everywhere all over, like the property we were staying, like people started gardens, and there was this amazing energy, and we had like people that were from the outside that, you know, we maybe didn't really know as the community started like coming, you know, and like, so the community became close and people started to get to know each other.
You know, when some of us began working back in the 80s, trying to promote organic gardening at home as a strategy to survive. You know, apartheid was bad and many people were suffering. But back then, what we noticed was people had come to the city to find work. In many ways, they had left their farming behind. And in a way, many people had to almost be convinced to start something in the city. They didn't see the sense in it. That carried on for a long, long time, for many years. But more and more people came, especially young women, younger mothers, and because they were trying to feed their children. And some men were starting to come as well, but it was mostly women. And in 1994, we had like 10,000 people we were working with. And then soon after 1994, when the social grants came, where everyone could get a social grant, there was a huge drop-off. And then mostly the older people were carrying the movement. The younger people were looking elsewhere. And then now, over the last few years, both men and younger people have started to really come in. Now it's 50-50, men, women. And now the big thing is young people coming in, like yourselves.
I know the people that are old, they know the garden. But my focus is to teach the young and youth children to know how to bond with nature, how to know how to make he or her own income through farming. So that is what the foundation that I was putting to them, to know you can make income with your own hands. You don't need to wake up and do something so that you can have income for your family. Start small. That is why sometimes I'm giving them seedlings so that they can plant in their backyards. It was difficult because every time I woke up in the morning and went to my garden, I saw them walking or sitting in the corner. It was like I was a joke to them until my garden was up and I was supplying my veggies. I told them that it was that day that you saw me in that corner. You see me wearing boots and the uniform to go to my garden. I was taking that mentality. They say I must work so that I can have money. Work so that we have money.
There is a resistance, a sort of mindset resistance. It comes from different sides. The one is we must have a money-making job straight away. Otherwise, we won't do anything. The other side is a cultural thing where people tend to look upon farming. I'm not saying black culture, I'm saying culture, where people tend to look on farming as for someone else, not for me. We all want to be modern and work in the corporates or whatever. And that goes across all cultures. So that mindset of, no, we just want to work in the modern corporate economy is one thing. The other thing is we want immediately money for something we're not prepared to wait. And then the other thing is looking down upon others who farm, especially in the old ways. It's something the old people do, not for modern people. So those three things are definitely barriers, which are still there.
Yes.
Do you think the whole thing, the language and how we can make things look very elite and far away, unreachable for township person, do you think that's also a barrier? Do you think it's a barrier as well, that we say organic, another person doesn't really get it, doesn't care to, and this concept is associated with rich?
I think, Z, I think like the labels trick us, because if you go way back, like Elalini, where like most of the people come from, actually, like from Khayelitsha and Ekukulezi and all these, like, as much as people now do use fertilizers, but originally people grew up like using carbonyl. And they planted their millies with carbonyl, and they planted their cabbages with carbonyl. Until the government came and told them, hey, you can use this stuff and it makes it grow quicker and we'll give it for free for now until we can't give it for free, and then you have to buy it because we got you hooked, So it's that initial drug that the government gives innocent people that are already doing organic, but without the labels, without knowing that, oh, it's organic or it's what, but they just know it as farming. But then when you twist farming to the green revolution, to sell, like Bill Gates's initiatives and like, GMOs and fertilizers and all that, then we get twisted. Then people, they lose the sense, and they rely on pesticides. They come to the cities and they don't farm anymore. They rely on supermarkets and on street vendors like Somalians and stuff. And we think there's food, but there's actually food deserts, because the supermarkets and the ShopRites and stuff, they don't actually cover like people are still hungry even though they're supermarkets.
I think we need to educate our people in our community as farmers. I think we need to unite, be one, and tell ourselves that every month or every after 2 months, we need to do a workshop for our community and teach and educate them about what we are growing organic, so that they know. It's a lack of knowledge, or it's a lack of education, that they don't know. When you plant a cabbage that is medium, and they will have a cabbage from the markets that is big. So we need to tell them what is the difference between the two. They need education. That is why sometimes they go to buy veggies that are not organic. We need to do that. I think we need to educate them and do some workshop with the people, set the date or every month, and do some soup kitchen days so that they can taste what we are talking about.
We need people, of different origins, different backgrounds, coming together, growing food together, especially in the Cape Flats. And gardening is not just a matter of food and producing, but it brings people together.
And my big dream, hey, in 5 years' time, I will have school academy. Yes. And I will have specialists that will work with these children in my community around Cape Town. Yes. They will do practicals and do theory in the garden. That was my dream, and it is my dream.
There will come a time when people across this country will launch a fully organic farming movement that makes money, that employs tens of thousands of people, that will spread into the rural areas, where the rural areas, Eastern Cape, everyone will be into it. And it will be huge, and it will be led by young people like you.
My dream is to get that going. I sell self-watering raised bed. You connect it to the washing machine or whatever. It's on takealot.com, so if you can go there and find it. I'm the Green Ranger on Instagram and all that, so check me out. I also just want to educate young people about the environment and growing food.
Yeah, Z, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.